Have you ever been talking with a group of friends and then the person you're talking about shows up? Have you ever been talking with your family about someone or a situation and then they text you? Have you ever heard anyone say the phrase, "speaking of the devil"? This phrase people use on a daily basis or every so often whenever the situation happens. The first time I have ever heard this phrase, we were at a family friend's house and we were all talking about a situation and a person, and they texted her and she goes, "Speaking of the devil." And I said, "What does that mean? Can you please repeat yourself? Did you just say speaking of the devil?" She said, "Yeah, speaking of the devil." I said, "Will you explain to me what that means?" She said, "Speaking of the devil means that you're all talking in a situation with all your friends, and the person that you're talking about just happens to show up, or they happen to text you. It's kind of like odd or anything." So I thought this would be a good saying to talk about in this speech. Ever since, I've always wondered what the origin of the word was since she looked it up. The origin of the phrase can be tracked back to the 16th century. And I've also always wanted to put this phrase into my own words. If I had to put this phrase into my own words, I would say this means more like of a rude phrase or something, because growing up my whole life, you've always known as the devil as like a bad thing, or you're talking bad about someone and then they show up. But necessarily, that's not what it is implied. It just means you could be talking good about somebody, you could be talking bad, but they just happen to show up or they happen to text you. It's kind of like they're thinking about you or they're thinking about something and then they just randomly text you. But necessarily, it's not in a bad connotation. Thank you all so much for watching my speech. I hope you enjoyed it.